Hello, everybody. Welcome to Get Seen, Be Heard. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I'm here with my co-host, Christina Daves, and our esteemed guest today, Vinnie Potestivo. And we're going to introduce Vinnie to you guys in a minute. So in Get Seen, Be Heard, Christina and I talk about social media and PR and the things that we're doing for our clients and the ways that we support them with their social media and PR campaigns and strategies. And we like to share those tips with you guys. So that's what we're doing here today. So hi, Christina.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome, Vinnie. We're so glad. We had Vinnie on before, and it was like one technical gremlin after the other one. I was stuck in a Panera, and it was so loud. It was like mute, unmute, mute, unmute. And then we got the recording back, and it was 3 hours long with very little actual voice. So we get to do a do-over.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. Woohoo!
Yeah. So let's just jump right in because we're trying to keep these a little shorter than an hour, although, we'll see. Vinnie, I don't know what your timeline is. You jump off when you've got to jump off. But we started with an hour. We moved to a half hour. But sometimes the conversations are going, and we like to keep them going. So if you've got to jump off in a half hour, you're welcome to do so. But, so why don't you introduce yourself to everybody here?
Oh, sure. Gosh, yes. Well, I'm Vinnie Potestivo, born and raised here in New York, and I've been working in unscripted television for about 20 years. I got my start. My first few shows were Hannity and Combs on Fox News, a little cooking show called Ready, Set, Cook on the Food Network. And then I landed a job at MTV for Choose or Lose and covering the presidential campaign in 2000. And that turned into a 10-year gig at MTV. And that turned into an amazing career in television where I get to meet a lot of fun people. And it's brought me to where I am today.
You know what? It sounds like you have a lot of fun in your job, and I love that. I love that.
It's about look. It took a long. I think there's a cycle, right? So there's a cycle in TV, and I think that fun cycle is just about to come back. When I first got my start working as a development producer, from our department came like Osbournes and Newlyweds and Punked, and I cast TRL and Laguna Beach, and there was certainly a type of quality I looked for in that type of human and story that. Over these last 10 years, reality TV has gotten a little away from that. But luckily, the projects I'm producing now are right back on track and full of humor. But it took a long time to get there. I think people are finally more receptive to humor also in television as opposed to what you see on some of the older housewife shows where people are pulling weaves and hair and it's a little bit more debaucherous. So it's nice to get a departure from that.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. And I think people are getting, I don't know, I feel like maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody else, but I feel like I'm getting like when I'm done with work, I want to sit down and I just want to enjoy myself. I don't want to be like stressed anymore. Like I love to, like you said, laugh. It's fun. And there's not a lot of fun. I just went to see a show on Broadway and I don't know if it's going to last long. It's called Disaster. It was hilarious. I can't remember the last time I laughed so much. And it reminded me how often, like how few times I really get to laugh, at these things. I mean,
Yeah.
It laughed like stupid, ridiculously, unbelievably stupid stuff. But like, it was so bad that you just had to crack up like, oh my God, did they really just do that? But it was hilarious. So I loved it. And I hope, listen, I saw some of the reviews. It got panned by some because it's crazy, it's stupid, but so funny. And it was so fun to just laugh for 2 hours,
Yeah. And it's okay. It's okay to laugh for 2 hours. That's fine. That's good.
Yeah, and like listening to the people in the audience.
I don't know why they say the guilty pleasure. What's guilty about laughing? It's pleasure. It's just a pleasure.
So, can you tell us a little bit about what we have looking to look forward to about we can laugh at in the next couple of months?
Yes. Well, so I've actually on my Periscope channel have been letting people sort of follow me in a little bit. I haven't quite told the network that I've been doing this, so. I don't know. We'll see if the networks are watching these sort of things, and I'll let you know if I get in trouble for this or not. But life's about taking risks, right? And I do it respectfully. And I would never do something that I know violates, privacy. At the same time, I enjoy pushing boundaries. So for the last 2 months, I've been working on a project under the A&E banner. A&E owns a bunch of different networks. And I've been sort of bringing people to the network with me as I make my talent pitches. So beyond just the casting piece that I do, which is looking for talent to be focused in TV shows, I've been taking them a step further and letting them sort of follow me into the network. And I'm glad to say that we got a gigantic order for that series, which is so awesome. And I've been looking for, the show is about couples that are about to move in with each other for the very first time, and all those questions that we never got to ask.
Oh my God.
I know you're already, the finance question, the debt question, the ex-boyfriend question,
That's so good.
Right?
You have how many pairs of shoes?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. The second bedroom's turning into whose closet?
So true.
Oh, that's so funny. That's great.
It's as much technology as there is out there. There's this piece of us as humans that are afraid to ask certain questions, even to the people we love and trust the most. So this is something that will help open that dialogue. And my boyfriend and I laugh because, I promise I don't put our relationship on TV, but I certainly came up with a couple of questions inspired by by my own experiences. But that's what I love about where I'm at now is I'm taking those experiences and turning them into conversations that are turning into television shows that continue the conversation, as opposed to trying to cast the loudest, most train wreck-esque version of a reality show so you can get eyeballs. And there's a way to do that, and there's definitely a business for that. I'm just looking for something slightly different, actually, a little bit more honest, a lot more funny, probably more humble. And people complain about what's on reality TV now, and look, networks are buying what they're sold. So if we take a moment to reposition what we're selling, then we can make a difference. And I'm excited about that.
I love that. So what station is it on?
A&E.
It's on FYI.
Oh, FYI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it all young couples, or is it like all different ages?
Yeah, 3 different couples in 3 very different stages of their relationships. Some have additional family members that are involved. Some have, meddling in-laws. Some have external relationships that impact, their day-to-day lives. So I really took a moment to step back and look. And we're shooting it here in New York because our crew needs to be able to get around. So that's when people pitch a reality show. Keep this in mind. Tip number 1, right? We'll keep these tips in order. But tip number 1. When you're thinking about creating an ensemble reality show, so this is me plus my group of friends or me and a bunch of small businesses, you want to make sure geographically they're close together from a production perspective so we can afford to shoot everything. So that's why Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of New Jersey, you shoot in really tight communities and it works so that you can jump from place to place. So proximity is a big key to these shows getting greenlit nowadays.
I love it. So is it the same 3 couples go through each episode, or is it different couples in each episode?
Yeah, we'll follow each 3. We're going to follow them for the first 40 days, and we'll follow 3 couples over 10 episodes. Then we'll be able to understand, along the way. And there'll be certain checkpoints and mile markers throughout the way. We came up with this really awesome device that you'll have to wait to tune into the show to see, but it removes the producer. You always hear the producer asking a question, and you never know what they're talking about, and it kind of gets chopped up a little bit. We call that in the industry, we call it Frankenbite. You take a bite from here and a bite from here and mix it up. We came up with a way to completely remove that, to shoot it really in a very honest setting so that there's no manipulation of reality TV. And what you get is something that's just so emotional, so beautifully emotional. And that's not something that's easy to capture on TV or in reality TV because you really can't plan that. But we've come up with this way to help open up communication and I can't wait. I can't wait for the world to see it.
So Vinnie, are you telling me that the reality shows I watch are not real?
You know what? So here's the official answer on that is no. But perception is reality, and reality now is perception. So some of these people take on a character and they begin to portray that character on the show, but that character that they begin to portray becomes who they are. Those conversations they have are truly in real life. So if you're going to do something rude to your friend on camera, I guarantee you she's going to be pretty mad at you off camera for that also. There's this trickle down that happens. But, the cool thing about reality TV for me 10, 15 years ago was it gave us the ability to see who we are, right? For the first time, I have a real perception of how the world sees me. But now with Plaid and Periscope, that's instantaneous. So the development process is speeding up a lot more so in my world as well, because I'm able to meet more people. I'm able to see more worlds. I'm able to go to more places, and that means that, you know, from a network perspective, I have more access to potential projects.
And Karen and I talk about this all the time with like you talked about Periscope, and with this, it's real. Like, if you're watching me, you're watching Karen. This is really who we are. It's not a scripted
real reality TV.
Yeah,
right. It's actual reality TV.
What I loved about Periscope, and they've been really true to this, what I loved about the native app to Periscope was they didn't rush to put a filter on it. And people said, put a filter on it, you know, like the little Oprah Winfrey filter, I don't know. Or night vision, and Periscope. There's nothing. There's no interference between what's happening and what you're shooting, and there's no manipulation of that. That's really, really honest. And I think people who do watch, hours of blab in Periscope realize what I have to watch in an edit room times 4 or 5 different cameras looking at different angles. So imagine what that looks like.
No.
All of a sudden they realize, a 30-minute show on network will have about 21 minutes of content. So I go through, 4 months of footage to get those 21 minutes of content.
Wow.
Yeah. So when is your show going to be available? When is it broadcasting?
Well, we start production. Beginning of this summer, and network will be making an announcement. But this has sort of been a huge jumping off point for me in my career, and I am no longer from the success of this sale helps me pull back and begin my own production company, which is very, very exciting. And beyond that, I'm also just casting now and developing my own projects. So whereas I used to cast, projects for, I have networks that call me, like Bravo will call me and say, we have a housewife show in New Jersey. We need more women, more wives. Can you go out and look for that? Or I'll work with networks on existing shows. Now I'm at a point where I can take some of the projects that I'm finding through Periscope, through Blab on my own social networks and turn them into development projects. And you know what? The cool thing is that there's such high quality with our cameras now and the recording structure that I already have so much footage to choose from. Whereas in the old day, I'd have to start from scratch.
Tell us the process. So you said, you pitched a show to the network. Like how does that work? How does somebody approach you, or do they approach you with an idea and then you think, oh, this is great. And then you do, where does the money come in? Because obviously it's expensive to do a production.
Yeah. And it's really unique. It's a unique market in America versus, anywhere else in the world when it comes to IP, when it comes to intellectual property. So in America, you take your IP, you take the show idea, and you literally sell it to the network. The network retains ownership of that idea, and then they basically commission you to do your show, as opposed to overseas where you retain the rights to it and you're able to do a little bit more with it. And that's why you hear about international formats coming to America, and you hear a little bit more about formats breaking up and stuff like that, which is really interesting about the American market. But it takes a lot more now to get a show sold than it certainly did 5 years ago. Networks aren't buying the docu-series of 5 people anymore without any, sort of guarantees. And there are all these sort of business upticks that are beginning to be a big part of the strategic sale of TV. A great example is Glee. Glee was pitched to Fox through its creative department. And as a show, Glee was passed on. Mm-hmm. Glee was also pitched to New Business as this is a way we're going to be able to generate and create a whole new archive of music that we'll be able to license. We're going to ask the artist to let us re-record their music for free, which has never been done before, no royalties there, but then split the revenue. And Katy Perry reportedly made more on just her Glee re-airs worldwide than she did on her tour, which is crazy to me because Katy Perry
is Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, you know what I mean?
Wow.
It's exciting the business model and the power behind television is no more just about the platform. It's now how does that platform engage with business? And I think that a lot of networks are hip to this and are starting to really hone in on talent that they can be deeper in business with.
That's awesome. And you know what? So they pitched it as a business model as well as a show idea. And that business model won over the show idea. I love that. I think that's right. That's genius.
And that's just the networks pivoting. We all have to pivot now because of technology and what people can do now. This is the network saying, cool, this is the new business model. This is how we're going to thrive and work together and get deeper in bed and create deeper, richer partnerships, which is awesome. So cool. And it's nice to have been doing this for 20 years where I'm at a point where the networks call me with some of the really sensitive projects, the really big ticket projects, and I'm able to really craft and hone those projects in together.
You keep saying 20 years. When did you start? Were you like a child star? Started producing when you were 4?
Yeah.
I was. I'm actually 39.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I got started late 90s, but luckily. And I landed in casting, and I did it because people listened to me. I liked that people listened. They valued my opinion. MTV is known for hiring younger staff anyway. Maybe that had something to do with it, but I had a great run there. And I never did spring break when I was in college. I did choir tour when I was in college. I did spring break when I was at MTV. So I had my teen upbringing years.
Probably a lot better than any spring break I ever went to. There you go. Well, I'm going to unlock the
stories.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to unlock the seat. And I would ask you guys, of course we want to ask Vinnie questions, but I would love to hear, Vinnie, like your take on like what kinds of things you're looking for and maybe what kinds of pitches, what would work and what you'd be like, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
No. Oh, sorry. No, that's a great question, by the way. And it's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm very sensitive about the type of talent I work with because there's, people think they know what you're looking for. And I don't even know. I know that I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know I'm open to conversations. I love meeting people.
Right.
So, I often get hit. People will ask if they can pitch me a project before they even get to know me. And I'm kind of like, that's backwards. Like, you should know who I am first. You should trust me. Because, like, I'm your business partner. Like, we need to make sure that this makes sense. I realized over the last, say, 5 or 10 years as I use social media and I ask people for help, I ask them, do you guys know any housewives? Do you know anyone who's, a great butcher for TLC? Do you know a great kid psychic for FYI? Do you know any awesome designers or interior decorators for HGTV? And my community has really helped me out in a tremendous way. And about 2 weeks ago, I had the thought that I need to put something together that institutionalizes that act so that people who are referring people to me, people who are recommending people to me are also compensated. And you don't have to be in casting to know somebody. We all know unique people, right? Like, how many people in your family do you honestly think should have their own reality show?
Plenty.
Or in church, And for some reason, the industry is very difficult to get into, so we tend to listen to the same few people over and over again. And my strength has always been my community. So I said, I'm going to create something brand new. It's vpe.tv/star. And here's a little idea of what it's going to look like. This is just live.
That's so cool.
I hit live on this 1 second before our blab started here. And the idea is people in your life that could be great for TV. And what I've done is built a way for you just to make a referral to me. And if I do a talent development deal with them, I'll make sure you get $250. And if I can take this and I can sell a show to a network, and sometimes you get a pilot or a presentation, a proof of concept. If I get any of those steps, I'll pay you an additional $750. And then if the show gets picked up, another $1,500. So $2,500 to someone to just refer their favorite butcher, their favorite, their favorite soprano in the church choir, the crazy neighbor down the street who has all these awesome little trinkets in their. I like little weird things, gnome gardens and like kind of Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's fun, big-hearted people that wouldn't normally get pitched to TV executives in TV because no one said, I don't want to hear just from the from professionals. I want to hear from real people. I trust you guys. I trust you guys more than.
I love that. I love that. I put it up here in the box, but I don't know how to get it out now so we can get callers in. Christina,
oh no.
I don't know how to get rid of it. Every time I click on it to like get rid of it, it opens. There we go. There we go.
Perfect.
So Vinnie, I have a question for you. So Deirdre has a suggestion. So Deirdre, jump in the seat. I have, and I'm sure this is, you're like, oh, here it comes. I have an aunt who's 91, and from the time I remember meeting her, she was waiting to be discovered. She signed every birthday card to me, Aunt Sophia, because she was going to be Sophia Loren, and I want to get a film crew to her house one day and have her discovered. So just keep her in mind if you ever need. She's sharp as a tack, smart as anything, and you know, you keep that in mind.
Well, by the way, I'll tell you that you don't need to wait for a film crew anymore. Your iPhone does pretty well on its own.
Yeah.
I know.
And
I know.
I was just in Far Rockaway, and I shot something on my iPhone. And all I did was clip on 2 little a fisheye lens and a wide eye lens. $7 at TJ Maxx it cost me, and I got like a legitimately professional quality. It's kind of like when rappers wear fake bling. Also, like you expect them to have real bling so they can wear the fake ones because you expect it to be real. So I think people expect it to be real, but like, oh, you hear me talking. To see how, just real high quality content now that you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's what we tell people all the time. If you've got an iPhone, you can have a YouTube channel. You don't need
you have a production company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Deirdre, nice to see you.
Hey, good to see you as well. Hi, Vinnie. Hi, Christina.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm very well. Okay, here's my suggestion. I think you'll all agree. Dawn Brolin.
Lawn bowling?
Dawn Brolin.
Oh, Dawn Brolin. Yes.
She
You know Dawn Brolin, Vinnie?
Yeah, she looks like Melissa McCarthy. She is just as funny, if not funnier. I love her. She has such a good heart. She does great things for the community, as well as she's a smart cookie. Just opened up another.
She's hilarious.
And she's an accountant. She is.
And you trust her, right?
Oh my God, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She is awesome.
Can I ask, why is it, what is it about her right out of the gate that makes her so trustworthy? Because there was something about her that you knew separated her from all the other high gloss people you see on TV, right?
Mm-hmm. Dawn is genuinely nice. She's genuinely giving. And I don't know if she talks about, well, I think she does, about how she's helping one of the moms from Newtown with her foundation. And I know other people on this call have done that same type of thing. And she is just hysterically funny. And she talks about it, and you just can't stop laughing. And she's really dying to meet Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. There's not many people that would go out and say, would want to attach themselves to the fact that they remind people of Melissa McCarthy, right? So she definitely is one of them. I met her where I met you, Deirdre. I met her at that event we were at a few years ago.
Yeah,
she's funny.
She's hysterical. Anyway, that's my.
So Dawn really needs to get on the stick though. She needs to get some, she needs to get herself, start pitching herself, or you can do it for her.
Exactly right. That's the thing, right? Some people are afraid to pitch themselves, and some people think it's like not modest, or it's like you're conceited if you pitch yourself. It's not. Pitch yourself. I don't know about you if someone doesn't. So that's why I came up with this idea, because this will help your fans get behind you in a way that, and incentivize them to get paid also.
Yeah.
She does post every once in a while about Facebook, can't somebody introduce me to Melissa McCarthy? And I always repost that. I'm like, yes.
Repost that. And do me a favor, when you do that, just if you want to, on Twitter, I do look at Twitter, and my hashtag VPETV, but that's, for me, the best thing. My
Say that hashtag again, Vinnie. VPETV?
Oh, yeah, it's VPETV.
Okay.
And my team and myself, we pull everything that comes to us that way, and we save it all on a file, a development folder, any leads and suggestions. So please do, yeah.
I will. I'll do that.
And I'll tell you, I went to high school with a girl who her friends mailed pictures into her to Ford Modeling. This is back in the 80s. She was one of the top models. I mean, she graced every magazine cover for 10 years. And she never would have done it herself, but a bunch of 17-year-olds just mailed pictures in of her because she was so photogenic. And so you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what we're looking for, and to be honest, we don't either. So sometimes, we don't know until we don't know we got until we got it. But it's good to know you have it. You have it.
But you do have a place though, Vinnie. Don't you have a place on your website where you talk about what you are looking for? If you do know,
I do.
Yeah.
So there's outward bound casting, and that's something that I've already sold to a network, and I'm looking for very specific things. And then there's the other conversation to have, which is like, how do we change the game of television? How do we put the faces of the people and the heart that we miss, the humor that we miss, You know, like where's the humor? Like I want to do like the reality Three's Company, you know. So, but does that start with Jack or does that start with Mr. Roper?
I don't know.
But right, wouldn't that, I mean, where's that show?
Funny.
You know,
Yeah.
no place right now. No one is doing that sort of show. It turns into polyamory or something. They take it down a weird sort of.
Yeah.
They make it kind
Do
of
you remember, like, I mean, and maybe this isn't a good example because maybe it just was an awful show, but do you remember a few years ago when Rosie O'Donnell tried to do a variety show special and it just bombed?
Yep.
I mean, Carol Burnett show was hilariously funny for so many years, and she tried to bring it back. Now, maybe it just wasn't a good show. I don't know.
You know,
but it just bombed.
There are other places that you can find high quality talent on demand, i.e. YouTube. And I think YouTube really hurt. YouTube, I worked on TRL. I can tell you YouTube is what took TRL down. You know, YouTube didn't take MTV down, but YouTube took down the need for kids to rush in from school to watch a music video that we were all talking about. Now that can happen on YouTube, and you see how many million views it has, so you know that's what everyone's watching. But you know, technology is sort of taking that away. So, and there are some awesome shows, you know, on Periscope too. Periscope's Got Talent, and Alex Kahn has an awesome Periscope talent show that I watch as a scout. I mean, I just watch as a I watch my peers doing their shows. I enjoy that, but like, I'm here for work. I put myself out there because I asked people to put themselves out there, and I felt like that was fair, and it's uncomfortable for me, so I stutter and like awkward, and it's all part of like me accepting that, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay that I'm awkward.
You were a speaker at the Periscope Summit this last one, the San Diego one?
Yep. The one here in San Francisco. Yeah, in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
San Francisco. How was it?
It was a great, I've been to a bunch of technology conventions. I've been to even more television conventions and international sales. And it's always nice to meet people behind, you know, their usernames. So you recognize emails and you know production companies shaking hands. And I never met so many people that just gave me such big, open-hearted hugs. Knew my dogs. You know my dogs by their name. That's like the coolest thing in the world to me. That's personal to me though too. And if you took interest in my personal life and you want me personally to do well, that makes me want you to also personally do well, and we start to begin a relationship. And from Periscope, I've built out many projects, by the way, and that's what sort of inspired VPE. The VPE TV star is how can I organize this conversation that I didn't even realize I started, because people trust me with their friends. That's I take that very, very carefully, you know?
Yeah. You know what?
I wish this was 10 years ago. Because I used to own a retail store with my best girlfriend, and Karen knows Barbara now. She's doing some work for her. And we actually went through the process with whatever the company, you know, like IMDb or somebody, and we licensed the name Shop Talk. Because our store was so hysterical that we were like, people would watch this. Like the stuff that happens, you cannot make it up, the things that happened in that store. It was just, we even had a theme song written, everything, but it wasn't, you know, we were 10 years too early.
You know, by the way, a lot to say about timing in this industry. Too early is just as bad as too late, by the way. You're right.
Yeah. Because we didn't know, and we couldn't, there were no cameras on phones back then. Otherwise, we would have been doing it ourselves.
Well, now you know me, and I've always got that connect. So, you know, you ever have that idea pop, that's, again, why I put myself out there.
Hi, Kate.
What's up? Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited to meet you guys. Like I just like randomly came across your blab and I'm like, how to get on TV? That's so fun. I always wonder about, I have some friends that are in the casting industry and I'm always like, do you have to have an agent? What do you have to do? I went, I want to like host, I would love to like host something like on HSN or something like, how do you do that?
Yeah. By the way, there's like 2 or 3 casting producers that work on HSN. So go and become their friend on Facebook and support everything they're doing. A guy named Sean DeSimone.
Okay.
You writing this down?
Yeah.
Write it down, yeah.
A woman named Barbara Barna, also is someone you should know if HSN is I'll give you these DeSimone. Really awesome people here. I'm gonna this is Sean's information here. I'm going to put it on this little chat. His name is Sean D. Simone. And a lot of those platforms work with the same casting directors over and over again because they have little casting needs over a long period of time, so they tend to stay, pretty grouped and tight. So they have shorthand conversations with their casting teams. But those are awesome people to get to know if those are the worlds that you're looking to get into. And Sean's email address.
I always wonder, how someone like on The View or some kind of show like that. Like, is it just like people are in that world doing a number of things and they just kind of get discovered, or?
Well, the View is a slightly different format because that sort of requires celebrities. So yeah, you have publicists and managers that are and agents that are pitching to probably one, if not two, talent producers that are over there. Gilman also is, I know, someone that you can pitch down to. Look, agents, how do I say this? So agents have a fiduciary, think about this. Agents have a fiduciary responsibility to their existing clients. So their job is to get their existing clients jobs, which means that if they're taking on new clients, potentially those clients could be taking away jobs from other clients. So they be careful about, you'll find agencies are careful about over-representing too many people that could be categorically competitive with each other. So that's just one thing to think about. But also, their goal is to keep their existing clients happy and paid. So they will do anything they can to get those people out there. In other words, what I'm trying to say is agents aren't the best people to get you your first job. There's no better person in the world to get you your first job than you. Casting directors are there to help you get your first job, and a good casting director will take his or her time. And it might not, you might meet on one project, and then over 2 or 3 years, I know so many people that didn't work on the first project, and 2 years later I go, hey, do you remember me? Remember when people said about you if we ever did a car makeover show? Guess what?
That's
my ride. You're never going to believe it. It's coming back.
Awesome.
So casting directors are great people for you, more so than managers and agents, because their success is your success is their success, and our job is to carefully edit you the best way possible. You write beautiful one-sheets and celebrate your social media numbers. I use these words as like, we're salesmen, man. Like, we not only have to find the goods, we have to sell it back to the network. And when the network won't even look at something because you don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
Karen, write this down.
Is it very serious?
Yeah, that was my other question, because I know that that's become like a big thing too. Like, if you don't already have this huge, massive following, so it's kind of like, where do you start? But okay.
I'm going to jump in on that and say you start today. You start today, because you can have 10,000 followers on all of those platforms in a year.
Yeah.
So if it was a year ago, right, you'd be sitting here now going, all right, I got my 10,000 followers on Instagram and Twitter. You can have 25,000 followers in a year, And I'm not talking about buying them, because people can tell if you're buying followers.
Yeah, no.
There's plenty of apps that you can put the followers in and see, are they real followers or not? You need to have real engaged followers, but it's not hard to do that. And that's what I was just going to say. Like, if you're talking about The View, this is The View.
Right.
Right?
Well,
like, this is The
I
View.
started a blab that I do every week with a girlfriend of mine. So we're kind of building and gaining traction. And like, and I've been reaching out to the people at HSN and doing little videos and sending it to them like via Twitter. So I'm just like, I just realized more and more over the years, like, I want to do this kind of work. So like, I have to get more, but this is great. Even just the casting director, like I wasn't thinking of reaching out to them. I'm reaching out to like the marketing people, because that's my world, but they don't care. They're doing the marketing.
Right.
That's the thing. And also like, they're not supposed, like they might get in trouble for overstepping their bounds and complicating situations, but you need to reach out to Sean D. Simone.
Okay.
I put this thing right here in the scroll. So that's the guy you need to be in touch with, and have a reel and be prepared. Have a reel, have your numbers, be prepared, because you're looking to get people's attention. Just make sure that when you do have their attention, you're ready to rock and roll.
So do you have like the stuff that I've done in the past? Like, I've done stuff locally for like local magazines and local like publications here. I do some stuff for GoDaddy. Is all that stuff just like collectively just like make like a little 30-second thing with that?
Yeah, but by the way, I love what you said. 30 seconds is like my favorite number. Yes.
Okay, good.
I agree. Look, we know, they say casting directors know what they like in the first 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Sometimes clients need to watch it, wait for their kids to watch it so that they know if it's hip or not. And that's literally the litmus test. When you're creating your reel, don't make it represent everything you've done. Make it represent all of your skill sets. So if you have 5 red carpet interview segments and 2 man on the street segments, just pick 2 red carpet segments and 2 of the streets instead of, I don't need to see everything you've done. I just need to know your skill sets.
Got it.
And don't be afraid of look. There's some people who just do it on their iPhones and have awesome reels on footage that's never even seen the light of day. As long as it looks in element, as long as it looks like I believe this person could be on live TV. If that's the situation, you're talking about live TV, versus something that's pre-taped. And we look for different things in reels depending on if it's like when I was casting TRL and I needed 4 VJs who could do live television with 4 people at different locations, very different than being able to host, a show that's on tape, just tossing videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But make that reel like a minute and a half. If you have, your email, you should have your phone number and your email address on it. Your email address should not be a Gmail address. No. Go out and buy, make sure. I'm surprised at how many people spend $1,000, $2,000 to make a reel, and I'm like, it's $3 to buy a GoDaddy.
Oh yeah, no, I have my name.
Good. I love that. And Kate, what you've done here is grab our attention. This is what you've done. This is proof that you're not just putting stuff out there, that you're engaged in the community. And I couldn't think of a better way to meet some potential host than through something like this. I really think that's
I'm so happy that I ran into you guys. You're so awesome, Vinny. I'm like totally all over you now. So
it's all about right place, right time, and you got to it.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And check out his Periscopes. Are you still Periscoping, right, Vinny?
Yep, absolutely. I have Periscope.
Periscopes. I mean, that's how I found Vinny. I watched a couple of his Periscopes. I was like, I love this guy. I need to see if he'll come on the show, So
funny.
Yeah.
This is so great. I'm excited. So I followed all you guys, so I'm excited. Thank you for letting me in, Karen. And it was great to meet all of you.
You too. Nice to meet you, Kate. Keep in touch with us.
You know who we have to pitch to Vinny is Maria. Vinny, we have a client who's a 70-some-year-old barber in Cincinnati, right, or Cleveland, and she matchmakes, and she's got like 20 couples have gotten married.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
She's a barber. She doesn't even call herself a hairdresser. She's a barber.
One of the like ET or somebody actually ran a clip on her. We'll find it and send it to you. It was a while ago, but she's
hilarious.
The barber, and she's so funny. She keeps talking about she invented this product and she used all her boob job money for it. I mean, she's hysterical.
By the way,
talk about laughing.
Here's the pitch I throw back to you. What you've just pitched to me is awesome. I think she's one character. I think what you do is you take 4 different seniors who are still being stereotypical senior matchmakers, but this very unique way of doing it. Maybe someone has a blab show. Maybe someone's on Periscope. Maybe someone is a cook, and she teaches a cooking class, and someone is a barber. And you find these grandmas who are all doing what they do best, matchmaking, but this very modern approach to it. And that's a really cool TV show.
That is a great story, Vinny.
Yeah, I like that.
You just took that one thing and whipped it into a whole show.
You can sell that to
I love it.
You can sell that to Lifetime. You can sell it to OWN. You can sell that to. I mean, that's totally great. And that's the stuff.
Add that to our to-do list. Show.
I love that. I'm excited. I'm excited for other people too. This VPE.TV star thing is like, it's finally a way to just funnel all of these conversations and make sure everyone gets like due respect and properly paid too. So to me, it was important to set that piece up. So again, nominate anybody and everyone. Keep us busy in development. Looking, you take the time to introduce us. We'll take the time to vet them. I promise.
So Deirdre hunted Dawn Brolin down.
Oh, she has to come in. I'm dying to meet you, Dawn. Come in.
You've never been on Blab before. How could you not have been on Blab, Dawn? Just click the open seat and ask to join, and
we'll bring you in. Here. Oh my God! Come on.
You're a CPA. You're a CPA that needs to be on Blab. You're a CPA. So click the open seat. I don't even know what it says when I'm not the host, but whatever that.
It either says call in or open seat.
And not even while Dawn is trying to figure this out, I'm going to start spitting out some new ideas for Dawn. Like, what about the show when a woman, leaves a relationship and she has to be independent on her own? No one ever really addresses that financial component to it. What does that look like? What is when you stop the split bank accounts and you completely, and I think women are very more so than ever very dependent now. How do you completely make sure you have financial dependence on your business? I wonder.
I love that question, and I actually use that a lot as an example when I ask people like Dawn to narrow in on their marketing when they're setting themselves up for social media. Dawn, is your we don't see you or hear you. I don't know if your camera's on. It says you have poor internet signal. Oh, we can hear you.
Hear me? You know, I'm a CPA. I can work a camera on my phone like a savage. On my computer. Maybe I should log in with my MacBook. I'm really not this technically challenged, only when I'm in the middle of a tax return.
You could just pretend like you're Kit from, with the talking car. It'll just be like the talking CPA app.
And I'm old enough to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. A little Knight Rider throwback, huh?
Oh my goodness, this is funny. I just got a text from a good friend, Deirdre, and she's like, Karen's on the lab. You got to get on there. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm in.
So I know. Try to click that link on your MacBook because we really would love to see your face, and we're going to wrap this up soon, so we want to get you in.
All right, stand by. Where the heck is that?
Try to get us on your MacBook because we want to see you.
All right.
And she's probably going like, I didn't take a shower today yet. And
I showered definitely.
And where's Sandra of all the days?
Yeah, just once a week though.
Karen, of all the days, Sandra to miss, because she'd be hysterical.
Where the heck is my
MacBook? I know.
Come on,
I know. She's a wicked Snapchatter lately.
Nicole,
Sandra.
where's my MacBook?
Are you Snapchatting?
Savage is my team.
Are you Snapchatting, Vinny?
I'm coming in, Vinny. You are not. You ready for this? I'm telling you right now.
All right, Dawn. I'm gonna knock. Are you gonna come back on your iPad on your MacBook? Because if you are, I'm gonna knock you off here.
Yeah, knock me off.
All right. Are you Snapchatting?
Me? I am. I Snapchat. I do. I'm Yo It's Vinny on Snapchat.
You're Yo It's Vinny on. Yeah, I'm trying to be consistent with it. I'm kind of inconsistent with it, but it's been. And she just Christina just mentioned Sandra, who was on last time you were here. Loving getting to meet you. And I actually saw something on Harrow, and I Snapchatted her this morning because I was getting ready to do a webinar, and I had no time to do anything. So I literally just Snapchatted her and said, Sandra, check Harrow. You've got to check. There's one for you. And she snapped me back. She's like, I don't even know what that is. Like, all right. We got to get that. So, yeah. So the call. So Patty, she's going to jump back in when she's on her MacBook. But I love that idea for her show, Vinny. She can be like, how do you take a funny spin on finances? And because who the hell wants to ever talk about their finances? Not me.
No one. So you make it an approachable topic instead of a scary topic.
Right.
Remove the ick from it. Have someone like Dawn who sounds unapologetic and straightforward. Someone who you innately trust, and have that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you're busy. I mean, you've got this new show coming up. What is next for Vinnie Potestivo?
Well, I am specifically looking into my development pipeline. I'm specifically looking for brand new projects right now that I can take out to market. Again, I want my projects to be fun. I want them to have big characters. I want them to have considerate, kind, compassionate characters, people that I would be okay to have at the dinner table with my mom, and also in the living room with me when I'm watching their TV show.
You're here.
That's right.
That's it, Dawn. You mean business.
It's tax season. We're always
Dawn.
It's tax season. Wabbit season. Tax season. Wabbit season.
This is live, right? It's a BB gun. It's a BB gun.
Okay.
It's a BB gun. Every accountant should have a plethora of various firearms during tax season.
I love that. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you guys. I've known Karen for forever. She's fantastic.
Nice to meet you.
Karen's frozen. Nice to meet you, Christina. How are you?
Oh, Karen always freezes at the end. This happens every single time. All right, Dawn, you are hysterical. Deirdre says you're hysterical. You're like this all the time. So we're trying to develop a show for you. We're working with Vinny here.
Vinny.
How you doing?
You know what? It's never a dull moment here in the Office of Powerful Accounting. We shoot things, we help clients, we cry, we laugh, we shoot, we do stuff.
Dawn, what can I ask you a question? In the world of television, right? So all these shows, giving people information, shedding their what information is out there that's just bunk? What financial information out there are you like, stop getting the people excited with this idea, just get realistic with it? What's out there?
Well, you know what's really funny is I love to watch all of those reality shows about, bar rescue, and I love The Profit. I love watching those shows, and certainly who doesn't love Shark Tank? Like, if you're breathing, you should love that show. Especially if you're in business. But a lot of times we watch these shows and they say, oh, show us your financials. And they, take a picture and you see the financials and you're like, oh my goodness, like take it to the next level on that stuff. And they get, we did this whole big makeover. And then all of a sudden we find out that they're out of business, 6 months later or whatever the case is. And so, we come in hot. So I will tell you that Melissa McCarthy is making a ton of money on me, and I'm a little upset about it. I'm not going to lie. She comes out with this new movie called The Boss, which is my idea. And I would be her sister, and I would crush it. So that's a whole nother problem.
I feel like if you were my cheeks are already hurting from.
Here's your laughter, Vinny. We're laughing.
Dawn, do you know what I like about, you mentioned Shark Tank? What I love about Shark Tank now is that when they would do the updates for the last 2 years, it was always like, oh, update, I'm rich. Everything worked out brilliantly and I got tons of money. Now in these last few updates, even Shark after what do they call it? After the tank or whatever? After the tank.
Yeah.
They're showing some real hardship. They're showing, entrepreneurs who got the deal, the $20,000 deal, lost their mortgage, and then had to, work back from nothing, less than nothing.
Yeah.
I love that these shows are finally showing that piece of entrepreneurism, because it's nice to know that we all go through these ups and downs.
Totally. We love to, I love to go in with our clients. We're really real with them, and we do joke around quite a bit. Like, one of our core values of our company is fun. So we expect to always have fun with people and try to do our best to help them. And, I just want to go into a business owner and just shove them a little bit or shake them and be like, I called you and told you to do this. You're not listening. And maybe smack them a little, and right. Tell them, do this.
We're going to do this reality TV talk thing. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, we should. I would love to. I'm glad I found this. I don't know. I live under a rock, apparently.
Well, 'tis the season, right? 'Tis the season.
It's the season of rocks right now. Rocks and guns.
Rocks in hard places.
And I'm a really good aim.
I bet. I love that.
Well, thank you guys for letting me in for a little bit here. I appreciate. There's Karen. There she is. Look how cute she is.
Yeah, great to meet you, Dawn.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Nice
my next tax appointment's here.
Yes.
I'm going to go.
Karen doesn't share her screen time, so.
I will be back. That's a warning and a threat.
Now that you know how to blab, you need to blab more.
I'll blab with you, Karen.
Yeah, let's blab.
Yeah, let's blab with you anytime.
All right.
Thank you.
Right, John.
I just want to rub his chest a little. I'm not going to lie. Just a little bit. Yeah, totally. So watch out. I'll be back.
All right.
All right. Good.
Bye. She's so funny.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny. I actually saw her once at a conference. She literally did a talk. She was a speaker at a business conference, and about finances. She was hilarious. It was she's a fantastic speaker.
And she seems to have a really unique point. So what I picked up from just meeting her in that heartbeat was she's got a really unique POV into finance, and the more unique your POV is, the more you can interject why you see things the way you do. I think it becomes a different conversation, a different voice in the mix. It's something I actually can see why people would hone in on her and trust her in these instances. She's not using big over the head words that, all these jargon and terms.
With a Nerf gun.
Yeah. She's serious. She's doing business.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. All right, Vinny, thank you so much for doing this again for us. I appreciate it. It is always a pleasure to have you here. One of these days, I'm going to run into you at a conference. I'm not far. I'm right outside of New York, so we really have to get together one of these days. But it was.
You know when you're in the city next time for sure.
I will. Thank you so much for doing this for us again, because our audience loved you, and we were sad to not have the replay. So thank you.
My pleasure.
No, this is good. Vinnie, I'm going to send you an email. I'm on the marketing board at Virginia Tech, and we take students up every September and do really cool stuff. Like we go to Google and Facebook, and maybe if you're filming anything or something, maybe they can come just get a peek of you. That'd be really fun.
I love it. Yeah, I work with Wagner College in that capacity also. So sure, yeah,
Cool.
I'd love to.
Awesome. I'll shoot you an email. Okay, cool.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you back here next Thursday. Who do we have next week? Do we have Patty next week? We do, I think. Hold on.
I didn't even look ahead.
Sorry, guys. We didn't check to see who we have next week. We'll see you again next week, 2:30. It'll be a surprise. 2:30 on Thursday. We'll see you next week. Thanks again, Vinnie.